What is going on, everybody? Cornbread Trucker here, coming to you from the terminal here in Springfield. I'm back sooner than I planned on being, but I had a feeling that could happen. Seems like since I switched to flatbed, if I'm going home, it seems that and they do this some on the reefer side too, but I had pretty good luck with it. My fleet manager generally didn't get me home much sooner than I requested, but it's not the fleet manager's fault. This has more to do with planning, and some of this could have to do with also just the freight market, and there just wasn't anything to kind of keep me busy with. I did turn down a load. So I got unloaded yesterday, and it took a little bit to get a load. It wasn't an extremely long wait, but it was basically to go pick up a load about 155 miles away, and then bring it back to the yard about another 155 miles. And I would have done it. But I was a little aggravated. One was that I was coming back to the, basically going to be coming to the yard sooner than I really wanted to. And not only that, man, it was windy and cold. And I'm like, man, I'm going to go in there. Luckily it wasn't a tarp load, so I was going to have to. Oh, and there, one other thing about it was the appointment time would have been pushing me up against the wall to get there, and that's what aggravated me. Was I had been sitting waiting for a load, and it wasn't an extremely long time, but I had even messaged the fleet manager and asked him if I should just plan on going to the truck stop for the night, or if he thought they were going to have a load for me, and he said he was still waiting on planning. They knew they had this load, so if they would have just sent it to me like right after I got unloaded, I probably would have just went ahead and done it. But now I sat and waited, and now and you send it to me, and the appointment time is of such that I'm really kind of up against the wall on that appointment time. Probably wouldn't have been a big deal. A lot of times it's not on this side. It's not like the reefer side. I mean, they matter, but some of this kind of got an open window, so it probably wasn't a big deal. But I don't like being late. But I just don't like it. It just, you set a time, and that's what I shoot for, and generally an hour before that time. So it just kind of aggravated me, and then by the time I got over there, it had been dark, which means it had been colder. The wind's blowing, and I'm like, no, it's the same miles. Even for me, the deadhead back to Prime was the same miles I was going to deadhead to go pick up that load, and it would have helped somebody. Honestly, they wouldn't have had to go pick it up, and a lot of times I don't mind helping out, but that one, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. It kind of got under my skin a little bit. And I don't get mad, really, for the most part. If I do, I generally get over it pretty quick. And it wasn't the fleet manager's fault by any means. I mean, this is planning. And I think that's what aggravates me too, is now there's a lot of scenarios here that takes place. One, the freight market's not good, and that has an impact. And I'm not the only driver that planning has to do any planning for. But when you give them from a driver's perspective, when we give them a month and a half, 2 months, we need to be at the terminal on this date, or we need to be home on this date, you would kind of hope that maybe it's just the name, maybe it's their title, planning. You would hope that they'd have some planning going on. I know that freight is not like it was, well, shoot, just over last summer. And so there's not as many loads to pick from and all that, but I don't know. It seems like they could do a better job planning these loads so that you're not, if you're going to take a week off and yet you're 4 days ahead of schedule coming into the terminal, you know, that's a lot of time you're not making money. So, but they're afraid to send me out, and I get it, I understand, and so I try to keep in mind that, man, the loads just may not be there, and maybe planning had been trying to work something out. But when I got the load I delivered yesterday, when it got dispatched, I had briefly talked to the fleet manager and asked him if they was going to be able to keep me busy, and he felt like the time was. But I had concern because of that they were getting me a little too close to the terminal. So I don't know, if maybe I shouldn't give them as much of a heads up, or if I feel like they're getting me too close to the terminal, just refuse a load and try and stay out. But either way, I'm here now. So, sitting in line, the assessment bay, the truck's going into the shop, but I figure I'd go ahead and knock this out. Maybe they can take care of some of it. I got a few things to have done, but the main reason, two main reasons it's here, it's time to get the diesel particulate filter, DPF, cleaning, and get my inverter. Get my inverter back. I've not been able to run my vacuum, and I pulled over by the pro shop over there. They've got vacuums on the side of the building that you could use, but they got trailers blocking that off, so that wasn't no help. So I'll hopefully maybe they can get me in sooner than my scheduled appointment. Maybe I can get this inverter fixed, and before I fly home I can vacuum my floor. I did get my I ran it through the wash here and got my floor mat sprayed off, so that helps. But my plan is to do some, good cleaning on the truck, on the inside, and of course get laundry and things done, and kind of get ready for my flight. I'm ready to go home. I was gone last Christmas, so glad to be home. I had some friends of mine that was gonna come over for Christmas, but their truck broke down in Albuquerque, and that kind of set them back on things, so they're gonna stay out and work. But other than that, like I said, I'm just ready to go home, and a little disappointed really that I'm back at the terminal as early as I am. However, I do got some things I can do, so it'll just kind of make that an easier process. I just get my relaxation started a little sooner. But planning, if maybe they need to change the title, but sometimes it seems like they're just on the edge of their seat. But it's easier for me to say that sitting here in the driver's seat and not in there. And freight market is a new animal right now. It's an unusual animal, actually. Freight market's been slow before. I think this one's a little different. So there's a lot of things just different since the COVID shutdown that I don't quite understand. Some of it I get, some of it I do not. So But anyways, guys, you have a good one. I'm sure I'll do another video or two before Christmas. But I hope everybody stays safe. If you are going home, I hope you make it home safe. If you're already home, I hope you have, and for everybody, a good Christmas, a good New Year. Enjoy the holidays. If you're out working, stay safe, make a lot of money, I hope. And if you're new to this channel, you know, like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. And if you're new to the trucking industry or thinking about getting into the trucking industry and you'd like to use my driver referral code, feel free to do so. I'll have it posted in the description. And you guys, again, happy holidays and stay safe.